Hi everyone, it's me yet again. Um, I have to post a response to this because I forgot about something that is like pivotal to my life. So, like how I forgot it, I don't know. I think I was trying so hard to remember other things that that one just kind of slipped my mind for a moment, and then now I'm like, wait a second, I completely forgot to put that in there, and that's like really important for my life. They really need to know that. So, if you want to know anything about me, you have to know about this moment. Um, when I was in preschool, when I was about 4 years old, I lived on base with my dad, um, and in South Carolina. And almost every night after dinner, we would go for a walk, or I would ride my bike, he would walk. You know, we had our dog and all that stuff. And one of the things we would like to do is I would tell my dad, I'm going to count how many stars there are in the sky. And my dad's always like, yeah, you can try. um, but I was always like fascinated with the sky. And so one day I was trying to count how many stars. And I think I'd always stop at like 30 or 40. Because then my dad's like, no, you already counted that one, sweetie. You already counted that one. It's like, there's too many stars to count. I was like, no, there's not. No, there's not. And, well, one night I was doing this and there was a shooting star. And, you know, I was like, wow, what was that? My dad's like, oh, that's a shooting star. I was like, what? He's like, some people call it a falling star. It's like, it looks like a star is falling out of the sky. And I'm like, well, where does it go? He's like, well, it's not really a star. It's a rock that comes from outer space and it comes close to the earth. And because it's really, really, really hot, because it's going really, really, really fast, it's like kind of on fire and it comes in and then, it'll either burn up or it'll crash into the ground and leave a big hole. And I was totally fascinated. And from that point on, I became obsessed with astronomy. Um, I wanted books, movies. Um, I wanted to lay out in the sky, lay out in the yard and look at the sky for hours and hours and hours. And that's what I would do. I would look at the clouds. I was bound and determined to see stars during the day. Like, I would sit there in a clear day and just lay on the ground and stare and stare and stare at the sky to try and see stars. Because my dad's like, well, because of the sun, you can't see the stars. And I was like, no, I'm going to see them. Um, and I asked a lot of questions. And I say it's a pivotal point in my life because from that moment on, all I wanted to do was go into space. Like, that's all I wanted to do. And all through school, I would tell everybody, like, I'm gonna be an astronaut. I'm gonna go into outer space, and they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I got into high school, and it's like, no, I'm going to be an astronaut. I'm gonna be not only the first woman, but the first person on Mars. Like, I built these little models of like lunar colonies and Mars colonies, and like, one of them was a science project that I had to do for a science class, and I was in seventh grade at the time. And my teacher was so amazed because like everyone else was like, here's my little city, and then like there's a dome on top to like keep the air in, and I was like, like actually mapped out the moon and like, well, this is a smaller crater, and therefore we'll build into the side of it, into it and down, so that we're fully protected from other meteors hitting. And the dome will have a clear base, will have a clear top to it, but there'll be this whole like airtight. Like, I really went into it. Like, I thought of everything, and my teacher was just like, "Oh my gosh!" I'm like, "You don't understand. I've been doing this since I was like 4 or 5." So, um, and I did. When I went into college, I was going to be a, and we'll get into this more as the years progress in my throughout the year series. But yeah, like, we're in college, I was going to be an engineer. I was getting my degree in engineering physics, And of course my car accident, which I think I'll have to do a separate video on, because that's like another huge moment in my life, was the car accident. It changed my life in so many ways. Um, so um, yeah, up until that point, like that was my goal. Like I was going to be an engineering physicist, which is, for all you people who may not know this, is also known as a rocket scientist. And I was going to be, an astronaut. Like I looked up the application process. I knew all the requirements that NASA had for all of their astronauts, and I was working for it. So yeah, so my first shooting star was pretty big. And I still love astronomy. I still try to catch all the meteor showers I can, lunar solar eclipses. Um, I watch a lot of those science shows and stuff. Um, so yeah, I just had to put that in there because like there's some other things that happen later that refer back to that. So if I remember to put them in, but yeah, so just had to get that in there. Um, and I think that's it. You know what? I may do my car accident video next, because I think now will be the best time to do it, because I may not have time later, because I will be moving in a few weeks. So I'll go ahead and probably do that now. So until next time, bye.